What is going on, kings and queens? It's your returning champion, Notorious MSG. For the next part of our Molly lineup series, I'm going to be going with ICEBOX. So buckle in and let's begin. Starting off our ICEBOX lineup guide, we're going to go with a site. Default. This spot very common. You kind of just run in, you plant. Usually maybe a sage wall there, sage wall there. So we're gonna go starting off with this. Okay, starting off on a site, we're gonna go with the default plant. This is usually like the first places you should learn, just because it's such a common, easy plant spot. Super safe, lets you get in and get out. So we're gonna start off on pipes. So on pipes, pretty much the general rule is you just want to be aiming anywhere above this wall. Generally around here is pretty safe, so like I like to aim it like right here and fire. It'll bounce off and land next to the bomb. Nice and easy. Alright, now we're gonna get to the more technical side of default. So we're gonna go back into a lobby here. You're gonna line yourself up with this line right here. Whenever we're playing and I always plant the bomb, I'll be like, hey, I'm playing lineups. I always run back here immediately. It lets you watch the flank. You can kind of hear anybody running from mid, sneaking up behind you. Sometimes I like to just hold here, but if not, I'll do here first and I'll stand and cover, and then I'll line myself back up. So you're gonna line yourself up with this line. So there's two landmarks of how this works. The first one I like to use is this one, and the other variation is based off of like a Viper lineup, so we'll kind of work with that. So we're gonna go with this one first as our landmark. So you're gonna take the left line of your Molly icon HUD. As you can see, line it up at that corner and fire. It's gonna go up, hit the roof, and land right on top of the bomb. Nice and smooth. Okay. The second one that we're going to go with is a variation of like a Viper lineup. So normally for Viper Molly, you're going to aim here, but for Brimstone, since we do have multiple bounces, we're going to aim a little bit up more. So if I'm here, I'm going to aim up slightly and fire. It's going to hit the roof and land right on top of the bomb. Okay, that's from a lobby. All right, from a lobby as well, there's one more little Molly that you could do. This was like the first one I learned when I started doing Brimstone lineups. So in line with the rope, you're gonna go to this crossing, line yourself up like so. Okay, you're gonna be aiming at this little intersection right in the middle and fire. It's gonna bounce, land right on top of the wall. This was the lineup that started it all. Okay, from there we're gonna circle back around. We're gonna line up here, line ourselves up in center of this beam. And do you see where these two lines meet in this box? You're just gonna go into the center of this box and you're gonna fire. This one's gonna bounce and land right next to the bomb. Nice and easy. Another lineup I wanted to kind of talk about, been experimenting with this, wanting to really try to lab it out and work it. So you're gonna line up with this line right here on pipes. The reason why I wanted to do this is because sometimes I can't get over here, or I can't get back there. So I wanted to kind of play pipes to kind of just throw people off. I mean, I love trying to trick people. So you're gonna line yourself up here. You're gonna be aiming at this little section right here, this little corner. Take the tip of the diamond on the Molly icon and fire. This is gonna bounce and land right next to the ball. Okay. And then last but not least, we have more of the ones. I don't know if you watch SmackSmack or Calvin. He loves to do ones where like he'll plant there, he'll sneak in through here. I've been trying to do this as well, trying to get my aim up so I can do this. But once you get through here, they won't notice as you get a kill. There's a couple of lineups from this spot. So the first one is, for default, you're gonna aim right here at this little intersection, fire, bounce, and land right next to the bomb. Easy. Another one is a lineup with this beam. You're going to be using this as your landmark. Take the middle of the line between Molly and Smoke and fire. It's going to bounce. Land there, right, nice and easy. Another one you could do is line yourself up here. Crouch. Aim right at this little gray spot on screens and fire. It's going to bounce. Land right next to the bomb. Another one, you can pretty much just line yourself up here to where you're not seen by them. So like if you're able to know that they're coming from rafters and you hear them drop and you wanted to sneak by, you can just keep walking back until it's completely lined up. Easiest one is just aim right above this gray line right here and fire. It's gonna bounce, land right on top of bomb. Another one is, let's say you have your ult, you use your ultimate, you ult at sight. So you can have the simplest one is just to walk upstairs. You're gonna aim in this box right here, or this box right here. So as you walk up, you're just gonna see this box. You're just gonna fire at it. It's gonna bounce and cover bomb. Another one is you're gonna jam yourself up in this light between these two lights and spawn. You're gonna aim at this little corner, fire. It's gonna bounce and land on the wall. All right, that covers all of default for A site. We're gonna move on to our next spot. For our next lineup spot,
got the spike.
Take bomb. We're gonna plant it right under rope. There's a handful from here that we're gonna be working with. This is another one that's easily, commonly planted. Sorry, because there's usually a wall from a sage wall. We just plant it, and you can defend it from belt. So there's gonna be a couple from here. First one, we're gonna go back to our A lobby one. Your first landmark will be similar to this, but we're gonna go down to this level instead. So as we line it up there, we're gonna drop it down and fire. This will bounce and land right next to the bomb. A variation for that is you're gonna line yourself up in the same area. You're gonna aim at the tip of this triangle with the diamond of the molly icon. Molly! It's gonna bounce and land right next to the bomb. Okay, moving back, we're gonna go back into around belt. Line yourself up against this pillar again. If you remember from earlier, if you aim at the center of this square, it'll pretty much cover default and this plant as well. Nice and smooth. Okay, now we're gonna wrap ourselves back around. We're gonna go towards mid now. Remember, as we smoke through and sneak in, you're gonna be using this marker on the screen as your landmark. Take the left point of the HUD and we're gonna fire. This is gonna bounce and skirt along the wall, and land right next to the bomb. Next one is you're gonna be jammed up in this corner right here next to the generator. You're gonna be aiming at where the blue and gray meet. Aim a little bit to the right so it doesn't hit the door, and fire. This is gonna bounce and land right next to the bomb. Okay, and then last but not least, if we talked about earlier where you planted it and you're able to circle around because they're rafters, just line yourself up in the middle of the rope and just fire right above it. It'll bounce and land right on top of the bomb. Nice and easy. Alright, the next plant spot is this one. This one's super common that attackers will run up, wall it off with a sage wall, plant and back off. This one has a couple lineups as well. So we're going back here. Boom. Okay. This rope will be your first lineup. This is a common one that I've used. You're going to line up the corner at that rope right there. We're going to zoom in so you can see it. And you're just going to line it up next to the box and the rope. And you're going to fire. It'll barely climb over. It'll bounce and land right next to the bomb. This will cover bomb pretty well. Another one that I wanted to work with just so it can get better coverage, because that one is kind of hard just because of the landmark, is we'll be using this as our landmark. Take the left side of your HUD, line it up at where it meets along the beam, and fire. This one bounces a little bit better and covers the whole site. So I would like to try that one out. Let me know how that goes as well. Okay, and the last one for this is going to come from our little sneaky spot. Okay, so we're going to be using where this line meets this little pillar right here. We're just going to be aiming right in the center of this. So as you aim here, fire, it's going to bounce, and land right on top of the bomb. Nice and easy. This one doesn't have as much options, but it is an easier plant because you can cover it from pipes, from back spawn and everything. Alright, from generator plant, we're going to go to this mid-site plant. Playing with friends, this has been a common plant spot. Usually a sage will wall off right there. This is somehow smoked off. We can't get in. We just want to plant and get out. So we're going to go for that. So on pipes, we're going to go back to our little line spot that I created. We're going to be using this as our marker. So you're going to crouch, aim the diamond at the tip of the intersection, shoot it. It's gonna bounce and land right next to the bomb. Alright. Next one is you're up nest. You're gonna line yourself up to where this pillar and this little area touch. Crouch. And you're gonna aim just slightly above the rope. And fire. Bounce. And then the next bomb. Alright. The other one is gonna come from this little stack of barrels on a belt. You're gonna aim at this intersection right here on the roof and fire. It's gonna bounce off, ricochet off the wall, and land right next to the bomb. This one does burn them. Okay, and last one is if you are somehow sneaky enough, a big enough rat to wrap all the way around spawn, and they don't know you're there, and they're trying to defuse the bomb, you're gonna plant yourself in the middle of this beam. This is gonna be your marker right here, this little line on doorway. Take the right side of the HUD, line it up, just like so, and fire. This will bounce, ricochet, and land right next to the bomb. So those are the ones I've been working on for that. Okay, last plant spot on A site. We're gonna go with top nest here. This one's pretty useful. If I'm feeling frustrated, can't get around, I would smoke off screens, rafter, and top nest. Smoke those off, run in, zipline, plant, and then mosey my way on out. But our first spot will be on top of the barrels here in A belt. You're gonna aim between these two red arrows right here above this screen. I like to aim more towards the right side just to be a little bit more cautious. And we're gonna fire. It's gonna land in, bounce, land right on top of the bomb. And then from there you can just run up belt and peek. Okay, next one. It could be from mid, you somehow snuck through. Just a simple one. It doesn't have to be like anything like that exact. You just have to aim at this left wall or panel, and that'll cover the bomb. Okay, and last but not least, you are somehow able to swing your way all around spawn. They don't hear you at all. They go up, you hear the tap, and you have your ult to kind of delay, and you know that they're not going to peek you for some odd reason. You're going to jump in this little wall right here. Same one as earlier from the other plant spot, but we're going to be using this line. Aim it right there with the same marker and fire. This will bounce and land inside nest. Okay. And then last one, I actually just forgot. You're going to jam yourself in this corner. I'm using this as your marker. Take the tip of the left squiggle, touching that left back corner of that square, and fire. This will bounce, and ride along, and burn the bomb. Alright, that covers all of A site. Let's move on to B. Alright, for B site, there's pretty much only 2 plant spots.
Spike drop.
So I'm going to try to do both of them while we go through all our lineups, okay? So I'm going to actually place this in the middle, just to kind of show you where we're covering. So for the first one, you're going to jump in this little corner. Super exposed, but this is if you just need to get a quick lineup off. Aim at the very corner of where this crane meets. Jump and shoot. It'll careen over. Sky molly. Land up. Bounce. And cover both sides. Okay. Put yourself next to these beams. This is your marker, this little gray spot. Pick the molly icon, let it rest there. And fire. This one will careen off the green box and land, covering both spots. Okay, we're gonna go to this king box right here. Line yourself in the middle. So the word shipping is your landmark. So if you cover the N, you're gonna land closer to the main box. If you cover the I, you'll land closer to the outside. So right here for double stack, and right here for open. So double stack, boom, and open. There you go. Okay, we're gonna go to our danger spot right here. So looking at this danger sign, line yourself up with it. So if you want to plant at right next to double stack, you're going to be using this as your landmark. Right there. Molly. Hug the stim beacon icon. Boom. Let me do that one again, just in case. So corner of this crane, stim beacon icon, hug, and fire. Bounce. Adequate coverage. If you really want to get it in that corner, slight modification. Land right here. Aim at this corner instead, but use the left side of your HUD, the point, and fire. This one will cover that spot a little bit better. There you go. Alright, turn on our rat vision. We're going to circle all the way around mid. Okay. The first one is going to be from this mid pallet. This is going to be your landmark right here, this little like hazard strip. So for directly next to double stack, you're going to make sure the Q icon is lined up at the very bottom of that square. This will land right next to the box as you run up through mid and shoot your opponent. If you want to modify it to have it reach out a little bit further, so instead of doing the Q at the very bottom, you could just modify to where, you know, the whole molly thing sits on it, or the bottom of the molly icon sits at the very top of it. And that'll be your slight adjustment to bounce and cover back there instead, right? Going back to mid, right next to boiler. This lineup will be for closer to box. And fire. Closer to box, right? If you want to get in a little bit deeper, same spot, we'll be using that as our lineup. And fire. Boom. Bam, bop. Easy day. Alright. You planted bomb, you're running up orange. You want to kind of peek from here. Okay, so we're going to be using this caution sign, the corner of it, as our marker. So cover it with the left side of your smoke icon and fire. This one's more strictly for double stack. It's a little bit harder to get onto the back of it. And boom. Alright, that covers all of ICEBOX. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I wanted to make it a little bit quicker for y'all so you don't have to sit through a whole like 20-minute video on how to do lineups. Please let me know if they work. ICEBOX is probably one of my most favorite maps to do lineups on, just because there's so many variations of how big it is, and on top of that, like, it's just a really fun map. I prefer this map over so many other maps. But please try them out. Let me know how they work. Let me know if you use them, have any clips. Feel free to post it in my Discord. I can't wait to see you guys there. But once again, happy belated Tuesday. You know, the 2222. Today's Wednesday, but you know, happy belated Tuesday. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Peace out, kings and queens.